I'm just going to record to the cloud. Okay, there we go. All right.
Ryan said that he would join us tonight, but he said grown up now. He had an HOA meeting.
Okay.
A home association meeting.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
He's on the board now, so
nice.
He said,
good for him. We like that one too. I'm just trying to make sure that get our lighting a little bit better.
He's anxious to get together with his cousins in the Denver area if and when you guys ever can.
Yeah.
I know. I think about him occasionally, and I am like mortified that we haven't seen him.
Well, he said he doesn't have his house perfect yet, so you can't come over.
That's funny.
How about Aaron and Leanne? When do you guys remember Paul? When's the first time you remember meeting him?
I actually don't. I think it's just because I was so little the first time we met.
Yeah.
So no, I don't even know the first time we would have met.
Yeah.
I remember Christmas, this last Christmas, we had Christmas Eve over at Sharon's house with her family. And that was a lot of fun, eating and playing games and watching him smile and laugh.
Yeah.
And played with the kids and joke around.
Yeah.
And then Ted's 80th?
Yeah.
Ted's 80th when Aaron grilled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was so. I'm so grateful. Annabeth encouraged us to do that 80th because that was the last time most people saw Paul.
I know.
Yeah,
that was great.
It was fun. Yeah, that was a good time.
It was a good time. Delicious food.
All right,
yes.
Dad, tell us about what you remember about meeting Paul for the very first time.
Well, it was probably a real surprise because I think he was born and I had to get on an airplane and go up into Canada for 2 or 3 weeks. And I got back and he was basically a grown-up kid by the time I got back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. You didn't have to see that little shrinky baby, huh?
That's right. Gosh, we only had 2 others older than him.
I know. Maybe it was Paul when my toe got smashed because you were gone. So there wasn't any other parent there. Hey, Jack, what do you remember about Paul? He's just going to hiss.
I thought you were talking to the cat. Are you all right?
Yeah, Jack the cat. Ted, do you have any story? Teddy, son, do you have any stories you want to share? Kind of early remembrances?
Yeah, I've got them. I just maybe something else will spur it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Suni, do you remember?
Unmuting myself. Oh, yes, I do.
There you are.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Suni.
It's good to see you all. The ones that I know and the ones I don't know that I've heard about a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen photos of. So I met Paul back in 1985. I was bartending at the Holiday Inn, what was the Holiday Inn here, and he was working in the kitchen.
Oh, wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we hit it off really well. And he was just so cute. He said he likes fire, right? Well, my hair is like fire, I guess. So he went on a backpacking trip and came back and brought me all these beautiful flowers that he had pressed in a book. It was so lovely. It was so sweet. But we've been very good friends since then. There were times, of course, where we all separate and then come back together. That's just what life does, especially in a college town.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
Lots of good memories.
Yeah.
He came to visit me in Florida, and I know how Sharon was a bit nervous about that. So was I.
About what?
When he came to visit me in Florida a few years ago.
Yeah. Right.
He was so kind-hearted. Our cat one of my daughter's cats got hit by a car and died. And he was all over it. The cat in an old, shoebox. And he just took control.
Oh.
Which was so cool.
Yeah.
Save the day.
Yeah, that's neat.
Lots of other stories, but for now, that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to share.
Parker, do you have any story that you want to share? Anything they caught on fire that you remember? You're muted, Parker, so if you are talking, I can't hear you. Annabeth, I don't know if you, yeah, do you want to share any story that your first remembrance of Paul?
Oh, there I am.
There you are. I don't know why I've got you on twice.
Because I am on twice.
Oh, you are, okay.
Because one of, I'm afraid to turn off the other computer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty computer illiterate here. And I don't know where my siblings are. I just sent them a message.
Yeah, Corley just joined us, I think.
Yeah, I think she probably forgot. And I don't know where Fred is.
And I saw Trevor try to join about a half hour too early. And I was scrambling.
There's Corley.
Yeah, there's Corley.
So, you know, Ted and Laura came and visited us when he, you know, had leave. And she actually lived with us for several months when he was in Spain, I think it was.
Oh.
And I remember he slept in the room where the freezer and mom's sewing machine was, and he did not like to sleep at all.
Oh.
And he would lay during nap time and count as far as he could to keep himself from going to sleep.
Wow.
Because he was afraid he would miss something.
Uh-huh.
And he loved to fish with his grandpa Newcomer.
Yes, he did.
They would go up on the above Worland and Graybull and go fishing. And I remember him up there fishing with Grandpa Newcomer. He actually got his, the thing you put fish in.
Yeah.
And I sent him a fishing pole and he didn't get it. Some postman has a nice fly fishing pole that was from his Grandpa Newcomer.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sad.
Sharon, he still has that creel, right? The fish, the wicker creel, or somebody has
That's
that.
it. Yeah. I wondered who had it.
Yeah, it's Ted and Parker. One of you guys, did you guys pack it up and put it in Papa's basement, or did you take it home? Do you remember?
I'd have to look through all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple
Yeah,
boxes.
you definitely had a lot of stories about that.
Yeah, it was on display, Annabeth, at the at Paul's that nursing home where he was at the end. So he talked about it all the time. That was
really?
He did.
Yeah, it was prominently displayed.
Fred is waiting for an invitation. I'll try to send him everything he needs. And then my last memory is last summer at Ted's house.
Yeah.
We just visited a lot. It was just good to stand in the kitchen and visit.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's going to be the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, please come to the big reunion next year in Sheridan.
Oh, good.
August, did you get an invitation?
No, I haven't seen it.
Guy should have gotten one.
Okay, Guy got it.
August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Oh.
It's Corley, Bethel, and Sandy's 80th birthday, and Alva and mine's 75th birthdays.
Okay. All right.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yeah. But you can't see me.
I can't see you, so there might be.
What do I do to get on there?
So are you on a laptop or a?
Oh, I'm on my computer.
Okay, so somewhere around the perimeter of this Zoom meeting, there'll be looks like a old-fashioned video camera with a red slash through it. And if you touch that, it should turn to where it doesn't have a red slash. There you are.
Like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay.
There you are.
I do this a lot, the Zoom meetings, but I've never had that happen before.
Right. Good. So we were just going around and people were telling those stories. And if you'd like, you can tell us, like, when do you remember first meeting Paul?
When I first remember meeting Paul, Well, that goes back to the time when your dad was in Spain and you guys flew out to Denver and we lived in Cheyenne. Do you remember that at all?
I don't remember
Sort
that
of.
at all. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Well, you were pretty little.
Yeah.
All of you were little, but you flew out to Cheyenne and you stayed with Laura's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took my car and drove to Sheridan, up to Mom and Dad's, and then met Laura's parents in Sheridan. So there was her and I and 6 little kids in the back of my station wagon. And Paul was just a baby, and he was having a great time. We went shopping and came home a lot later than we were supposed to because we left Jack with those 6 little kids. And I thought, he is going to be, you can understand Jack with 6 little kids.
Yeah.
And Paul was a baby.
Yeah.
And we got home, got back, and of course we just lived in that 42-foot trailer. And we got home and he had all the kids lined up watching some kids show, and he had the baby, had Paul, this baby, feeding him a bottle, and he said, well, what are you worried about? I got things under control. That was my first meeting of Paul, and he was very little. I don't think he was maybe 6 months old.
Yeah.
But after that, you guys were gone so much, and we traveled around so much, we didn't really see you very much.
Yeah.
Probably when you came here just before you went to wherever
Okinawa?
you went. Okinawa. Remember coming to our house then, and we sold your car to some friends, and you stayed for several days, and Paul said, Lorianne has Dale, Dave has Kim, and I always got to be with Sherry. So,
isn't it funny? You were just the opposite of us.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Yep. And then Dawn and Sharon.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And we used to do the leg, remember the leg wrestling where you lay on your back and you lift your legs up and you go 1, 2, 3. Then you hook your legs and try to flip the other person over. It was like totally unfair because I probably weighed 10 pounds when I was 10 years old.
And Dave outweighed you a bunch.
Yeah.
Or Dale.
Yeah.
Dale.
Yeah. Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's see. I think I caught everybody. So I have, I mean, I don't know if you guys, Paul and Sharon sang a song, Paul's last song, and it is so incredibly lovely. I don't know if you guys would like to hear it, and you'll probably bawl, but it's really a beautiful piece. So you want to hang on for a second, and I'm going to pull it up. Let's see, where did I put it? No, right here. I think I stuck it right there. Okay, so I don't really need to share my screen, right? I just play it. Tell me if you guys can hear this.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Oh, yeah.
When the road looks rough ahead, and you're miles from your nice warm bed. Just remember what your old past said. Boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. If you've got troubles, I got them too. Ain't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and can see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and your mouth and miles from your nice you just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
Isn't that neat?
I would
Yes.
like a copy of that on my phone.
Yeah, for sure. I can get that to you. Yeah.
All right.
That
Hey,
was
I've got
very
a
sweet.
little treat for Sharon and Kim and Ted. Do you recognize the reservoir down there?
Oh yeah, is it granite?
Is it hobby? Or what is it?
It's granite. It's where you guys water skied and camped with Paul.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's behind you. It's gorgeous. I keep seeing the hummingbirds. Wow.
For how many years did you do that?
Oh my gosh. I just remember how cold it was.
It's warm for a week or two in July.
Yeah.
Like the first 6 inches are warm. That's it. You just fall off water skiing and it's terrible.
So Rich, are we looking to the north from your back porch? Is that your back porch we're looking at?
It's to the south from the, it's hard to tell whether it's front porch or back porch, but it's the porch facing south.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's a great place. There was no homes there when we were going up there.
Yeah, and we were the first ones here. Now there's several, but it's been a lot of fun. The interactions with the wildlife, and this summer with these circumstances, having to be at home all the time. These bird feeders out here have been our primary source of entertainment.
Yeah, I bet they have.
Months.
Yeah, that's a special place, Rich. That's really nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. We feel like sweepstakes winners haven't landed here.
Yeah.
And splat in the playground.
Yeah, that's neat. And then I was going to share my screen so you could look at some photos. And then if anybody had any questions about any of the photos or wanted me to point anything out on some photos. Are you guys up for that? Does that sound all right? And you're welcome to keep telling stories. Yeah. All right, let me share my screen here. Give me a second.
Sharon,
One of my
Go ahead.
first
Sharon?
memory. Yeah,
Be dark. Are you guys in a campground?
we're at Phil's Lake House.
Oh, but you must be outside then, huh?
Yeah, we're outside. It's raining, and so we're outside under this. We're on his porch, and we're outside, and oh my gosh, this place is so fun. It's the water's really warm, and we're just jumping off the dock and swimming, and he has something this funky little flat piece of, what do you guys call that? It's like foam, and it's just like 6 feet by 40 feet, and you just lay it out on the lake, maybe 20 feet, okay. And you just lay it out on the water and just kind of stand on it and jump around, and you can wrestle and throw your son off of it. It's super fun.
Pat was just wondering how come it was so dark, and I told him that I thought you were outside.
Yeah, we're outside. We have our camper. We have a little camper van.
Yeah, it must be about 9 o'clock there, huh?
Yeah, we started at 8. Yep, so it's getting close.
Yep.
Kim, I have to say, I cannot believe how much Carol looks like your mom. When I got on there, it's like, I know that's not Laura. I know for a fact it's not. And how much her daughter looks like Carol. When the last time I saw her. Yeah, that's amazing.
I you forever, Annabeth. This is my middle daughter, Sarah. I think Emily, oldest one,
the oldest one, looks like mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks more like.
So can you guys see the photographs that I'm showing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well.
Okay, great. This one is I love this one because Loran said, yeah, Paul's crying because he had to dress up like his sisters.
Yeah.
He does look a little goofy. Outside.
I know.
At least he wasn't wearing a skirt.
I know. you remember Paul? Do you remember the first time you met Paul?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, guy's got a great story. So, yeah.
So I'm flying to Winter Park to meet the family for the first time. No, maybe the second time.
In the winter. This is the winter.
In the winter, ski trip in Winter Park. And I fly into Denver and it's snowing like mad. And I'm digging through Denver and there's bodies everywhere, live bodies everywhere, because none of the outbound flights are going. They're all stuck. The inbound flights are still coming in. So I'm walking through the airport with my gear and heading to the rental car counter, and I hear somebody yell my name. And I don't know if I'd ever met Paul before this, but somehow he knew who I was. So I look over and there's this pile of bodies laying around on the floor, and Paul is digging himself out of the middle of it. And he's there with about 20 of his friends, and they're trying to get to a Grateful Dead concert. So, well, we say hi, and we're talking, and he's, what are you doing? Well, I'm heading to the rental car counter, and he says, oh no, you don't need to rent a car. I'm gonna get mine. You can take mine. We're gonna be gone for a while. You just take mine and then bring it back, and then you can put it in the same spot or nearby. We'll find it. And I'm going, no, I'll just rent a car. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. No. He gets really insistent. Like, I've got to take his car. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to make him mad. So I'll go ahead and take the car. And he says, yeah, it's great. It's a Volkswagen. It loves snow. It's in really good condition. Okay. And I said, well, okay, I'll take it. So he gives me the keys, and then he kind of, his parting words are, oh, well, the heater doesn't work. So go ahead. And I'm thinking, wow, it's snowing outside and the heater doesn't work. This ought to be interesting. And so he sends me on my way. I go out and I find this car, and this is the most wrecked 74 Volkswagen Bug you've ever seen in your life. This thing is just about totaled. I get in and I head out. I'm heading up toward Winter Park, right? It's snowing, and this is stupid Californian time, right? Stupid Californian is heading up into the mountains while it's snowing. With this wreck. This car has no heater, and the doors don't really work right. And one of the headlights points straight down, so it lights about 6 feet of road. The other headlight points about 15 degrees up. So I've got the little bitty spot of road I can see in front of me. I get out to the west side of town, and I pull into a gas station. And I call Tim up at Winter Park. And I said, well, I'm headed up your way with Paul's Volkswagen, and I have no idea if I'm going to make it. So if I don't make it, I don't know what to say. So I head up the mountain, and it is snowing hard. By the time I get up, probably 10 miles short of the pass, I am the only vehicle moving on the freeway. And I can't see the freeway. All I can see is a big white expanse that's kind of flat. And I am bombing down this thing, throwing this huge plume of snow over the car. So I'm looking out the driver's side window, trying to stay warm while I'm driving this plume of snow all the way to Winter Park. Fortunately, of course, when I get to the pass, the other side of the pass is fairly clear. So from then on, it's an easy ride. But all I can say is, yeah, I could have died that night.
But you were driving a Volkswagen, that's why you got there.
Exactly.
Because we drove in Billings, Montana, and we were the only car on the road because we had our Volkswagen.
Yeah,
it was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was great. Other than the fact that I couldn't see, and
it didn't have a heater. I mean,
It was in the old days when you could go into airports and walk around. And so, yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Annabeth, my
Yes.
my oldest daughter just joined.
I saw her.
There she is.
Where are you guys at now, Annabeth?
I'm outside of Portland.
Okay.
In Hillsborough.
I think you guys were living in Sheridan the last time I saw you.
Probably. I wished I was still back there. I would love to live there again. Jennifer, my daughter, has been looking at a house in Buffalo, and it sold yesterday.
Oh.
But there's no jobs there. You know, we'd live there in a heartbeat if there were jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember what does your hubby do?
He was a pressman. He passed away 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But he worked for Mills Company for a while.
Okay.
And then we started our own business, and then we moved to Worland, and he worked for a printing company there.
Okay. I've lost track of you. There's too much family.
I know.
Yeah. There's that old picture of Mom. Isn't that crazy?
That's great.
What a sweet woman. Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kim?
Yeah.
Do you remember, I found a picture the other day when we were in Buffalo when you kids were little, and all of you kids are sitting on the porch. Can you hear it? Can you
Yes,
hear it
I can
all?
hear you.
That was in her pictures that she sent.
Yeah. I'll get there. There's all of us sitting on the porch. Yeah. Let me see if I can
All
get
of you
there.
kids are sitting on, but if you remember, my mother had all kinds of projects for Jack to do whenever we came. She said, I know he likes to keep busy.
Yeah.
So he went and bought paintbrushes and had you kids all varnish the outside of the logs on the house. And I think Paul varnished himself more than anything.
Really?
That was the summer before they moved.
Was it?
Yep.
I don't know.
Summer before we moved to Okinawa?
To Worland, yeah.
Oh, before Mom and Dad moved to Worland.
Correct.
There's a picture of all of us cousins on the stairs. I'm trying
There's
to find
one.
that.
There's one there.
There they are. That's much
not
older
on the
though.
stairs. No, there was one when you were a lot younger.
That's at my house. So the story about that is that was Uncle George and Aunt Esther's 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this house, we lived in this house, and it was so tiny, and everyone ended up staying in our house that had come to town. And when Keith went to bed, he could not find any place to sleep. There were bodies everywhere. So he went upstairs. We had like a A-frame type playroom. And so he laid down on a doll pillow and took a doll blanket and put it over the top of it and went to sleep.
How funny. How funny. No, okay, let me see. I'm going to go back. I love some of the earlier pictures of, Uncle Buck. Oh my gosh. What horse is that? Is that Chapo, or what horse is that? Carol, do you remember?
I'm not, yeah, that's Chapel.
Yeah.
Not Chapo, but Chapel.
Chapel.
Yeah. Oh, there's one on the porch. There it is. Is this when we were doing the logs?
That's the one. Yep.
I remember that story about Ed and Wilma making the kids all paint the logs on the house. But I have to wonder what got the most paint.
Yeah, exactly. We were definitely not old enough to be handling paint, that's for sure.
Well, it wasn't paint, it was varnish on the logs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is this your horse, Carol?
The logs
Debbie?
or the...
Is that Debbie?
Yes, that's Debbie.
Is it Debbie? That's Debbie, yeah.
Yeah.
Mmm. 3rd birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And is this when you guys came and visited us in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't remember what year that would have been.
Well, Helen,
Is that-
Sharon,
57.
Is that Grandpa Newcomer on the right and who's the older gentleman on the left?
so on the, yeah, that's Uncle Buck. So that's Grandpa Parker. That's my mom's dad with the light colored cowboy hat, and the dark colored cowboy hat is his brother.
Okay, it was your mom's side.
Uncle
All right.
Buck. Yeah, that's mom's
Never
side.
had the pleasure.
This was probably, I would guess this was 66 or 67? Oh,
It said 67.
67. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's your point now. I'm sorry. Dad.
In Wyoming, I'm in the snow.
No, that was in Oklahoma. That's when Ted and Lauren kids were in Oklahoma.
Ah.
The only thing I remember about Oklahoma are big spiders and tornadoes. That's it.
Oh, really?
So who are the girls in the front of Todd?
I don't know who that is. Well, okay, so I'm on the right with the yellow pants. I love those pants.
Oh, okay.
And then Loran, and then I don't know who the other little girl is. So that's somebody else. Looks like a girlfriend of Loran's.
Okay.
Yeah. Fishing, favorite activity.
Oh. All right, they had some luck too. I thought at first the boat was boogered up there in the front, but no, those were fish.
A fish, yeah. Benny, Dad, do you remember Benny?
Yeah.
Yeah, our dog. He was a great dog. I don't know where this is. Anybody recognize the mountains?
No.
Sharon, you look super happy in that picture.
Pretty lush. Good.
Yellowstone, right? It's the overlook at Yellowstone?
Probably.
Is it Yellowstone or Cody?
I think it's Yellowstone. I think it's the falls at Yellowstone.
Or is it the falls when you go over to Cody from?
That's what I'm thinking. That's Buffalo Bill, I think.
You think so?
I do.
I'm thinking the Shell Falls.
Yeah, yeah. It could be Shell Falls, but I thought that hillside looked, yeah, it could definitely be Shell Falls.
I don't think it's Shell Falls.
No?
It could be Yellowstone, but I don't think that's Shell Falls. I don't know. You lived there longer than I have, so.
Yeah. Paul had such a great smile. He always had such a great smile.
Kim, did you want Emily to share when she first
Yeah,
met?
absolutely. Yeah,
Paul?
Emily, tell us, what's your earliest remembrance of Paul?
Of Paul?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would have to say probably when we were in Laramie.
Yeah.
When we come to visit.
Yeah.
For once, somebody's graduation, I don't remember whose, would have been the first, but that's probably when I remember, oh gosh, because we were little. But yeah, probably in Laramie. Coming to Laramie to see you guys. I don't know. Well, and you guys, I think, came out to Grandma's a few times too.
Yeah.
Were you there when Uncle Bert was there with the motorcycles? Were you guys there?
I don't remember that. I don't remember motorcycles. I remember, I don't remember that.
But we were there one year, and I don't remember what it was for, with Bert and Frank. And I came home with Bert because I got sick.
Yeah.
With, I think, food poisoning. I was sick all the way home, and I rode with him in their motor home. So didn't have to stop every 5 miles for me. But do you remember what that was? Was it a family reunion, or was it?
I'll bet it was.
Because that's the one when Sarah had that hat, that red and white hat, and them yellow sunglasses, and she wore the sunglasses on her hat all the time.
Yeah.
I have pictures of that somewhere.
Yeah.
So I would see either the house in Laramie or at Grandma's house.
Yeah.
When you guys would come up if you were here to visit.
Yeah. Because I remember you guys when we would come whenever we were transitioning places,
Yep.
we would come and visit. And I remember
Mhm.
seeing you guys there
Yep.
at you guys' place. There's Okinawa, right? It's our house, our front yard in Okinawa.
Wow.
Yeah. Super cute pictures. Benny again.
I remember Gollum.
Yeah.
I remember Gollum too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I was gonna say, there aren't any pictures of Gollum, are there?
I don't remember if there were. Fishing again.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Nice one.
yeah.
Mackerel.
Look at that skinny boy. That was Padre Island, I think, down in Texas. I remember that camping trip. That was so much fun. There's the cousins. Is this Krista? That little one is Krista, right?
Yeah, so she
Okay.
must have been 18 months old.
Yeah.
See, or maybe 14 months old at that time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in Buffalo.
Huh.
Wyoming.
So Sharon, when is your birthday? I had forgotten that Paul's was today. Is yours the 1st of August?
Second.
It's yeah, the second, Carol. Wow, good memory. Yeah, because Emily's, you and Dad have the same birthday, right? On the
Yeah.
15th of July.
Yep, we're twins.
Yeah, birthday buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm right between you and Paul then, Sharon.
What are you?
31st of July.
Oh, you're in Laura. Oh, you're right there. Okay. So just a
And
couple
so, when's Laura Ann's? Hers is in July, isn't it? Is it like the 10th?
21st, 19th, yeah.
19th.
Yeah.
And so is yours, Kim, May?
29th of May.
Okay.
Yeah, so we run the gauntlet. It's just this July, we run this gauntlet of birthdays, like bam, 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 bam. So I love this picture of Paul in the utility sink. So this is when we lived in Okinawa, Japan. And did we have a bathroom in Mom and Dad's master? But anyway, of course, he's got 3 sisters and him. And we would go to the beach on the weekends and we would snorkel. And then when we'd come home, you'd just be covered in salt from being in the water all day. And all of us girls would go into the bathroom and Paul would go into the garage and fill the utility sink with water and take a bath in the utility sink. I love that picture.
Yeah, that's great.
Calls for death measures, Kim.
I know, it definitely does. This was the
Colin, check this out. This is 1976.
200-year anniversary of 1976, July 4th.
So I'm wondering if your mom made all of those.
She did, and I have all these costumes.
Oh, you
do? The costume. Yeah, I have all the costumes, and the beige one that Paul wore is the one that the person who plays Fritz in our Nutcracker production, that person always wears that costume. So that's Fritz.
So cool.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So yeah,
That
we
was
still have these. What's that?
I
Rich?
wondered.
Hello.
I wondered what that was all about there. That's because that's wild costumes.
Yeah, yeah. So Mom made all these so we could celebrate the 200-year anniversary on July 4th,
Wow.
1976. We were in South Carolina at the time, and they had this big, giant festival. Yeah, it was fun.
Huh.
And that's super cool because that was one of the original 13 colonies. So we were there celebrating among, like-minded descendants.
Right.
Hmm.
Cousins. This would have been leg wrestling time.
Right.
Football. I can't imagine Paul playing football. He was so little.
Getting way too kind of a fellow to get mean like that. You gotta get mean.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, a reunion, a newcomer reunion. I love that picture because Krista's reaching out for Corley's earring.
Yes.
It was always
I
so
love that
cute.
picture because I lost about 30 pounds when I had Krista, and I was so skinny I couldn't keep any clothes on.
Oh, wow. Wow. Paul being Joseph at one of the Christmas. Yeah. This must be Okinawa too, when we were cheerleaders. And Paul's football team.
David.
Oh, he was the Patriots, right? Yeah, he was on the Patriots team. Oh, wow. Look at Lauren's pants. Woo! Got that.
And that's Kevin Klein and Cheryl.
Yes, it is. It is.
And David over here.
Oh, that's David. Yeah. David, what was their last name?
Sutherland.
Sutherland, yeah. And Sheridan, I think.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. There's Sheridan.
Yeah, that's Sheridan.
Oh, I think this was a, Paul looks super happy. I think this was a fashion show. So Paul was super happy about being part of that.
We just watched videos. We're visiting my husband's family here in Southern Illinois, and just watched some videos that his mom, or some film that his mom put together, and there was Tom in a fashion show.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a picture of your dad in his coat, and he had his shorts on underneath.
Did he?
Yes.
In this picture?
Yes. I remember him telling me that they weren't going to show anything except his jacket, so he just wore a pair of shorts.
Oh, how funny. Was this right before we went to Okinawa, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we were super groovy. This is Sheridan and the Buckley family. This is Okinawa. And this must be Thailand. I think this is when we were in Thailand. Do you agree, Dad?
That sounds good.
Those are some pants Paul has on.
I know. Isn't that wild? Woo!
I wondered if your mom made those.
I don't know. She may have. This is in Korea.
They wore those. They wore those costumes. This is in Korea. That was what they wore.
Right. That's what they wore for their clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't a costume. They were. I mean, they were. They weren't like dressed up for tourists. That's what they wore.
Right. Huh. I don't know where that is. That looks like Sheridan, doesn't it?
I was going to guess Wyoming. For
Worland.
sure.
Is this in Worland in the backyard of Grandma?
Oh, you know it is. You're
It
right.
is. Right.
Yeah, it is. It's their old house.
Yeah. Okinawa.
Dad not want to watch this.
Fishing.
They know if you want to know this. Makes the little space here.
One of the Thunderbirds.
That's it.
More of that South Carolina. This is South Carolina. This must be this is your place, right, Annabeth, you said?
It is.
Okay. This must have been when we came back from Okinawa.
It was.
Okay.
That was when we flew to Sheridan. Dad flew us all on that airplane.
Oh,
Once.
really?
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We flew in a small plane
Yeah.
from South
It
Carolina
was so
to.
hot when we landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were.
Wow, Lauren looks just like Megan. Oh, that's
Yeah.
Dawn Sutherland.
What's that?
That was Dawn Sutherland with Paul.
Yeah. I wondered if that was Dawn. Yeah. Uncle Buck. This is when we came back from Okinawa. I think we went up and saw everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We were freezing our buns off after living in the tropics for all those years.
I remember your mom came, she had on shoes, like really light shoes, and she was so cold.
Yeah. There you are, Hap. I see you in there.
Yep.
Hap and Carol.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks pretty warm there.
Yeah. Getting a haircut. Lorianne's cutting Paul's hair. And this is South Carolina. And this is Laramie. So this must have been Paul's high school graduation.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hold it. Yeah. Is Isabel on the call still?
That's the high school graduation picture. Yeah. It looks so much like Teddy. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's another one of the proms. There's Alan. First family portrait with Alan. Oh, see that dress? Hang on, hang on. See that dotted Swiss, that dark blue dress with the white collar?
Right.
That I got from Grandma Parker. She had never made that dress. It was cut out, but she never made it. So I made it, and it had this little jacket. That's what the little tie in the front is. But it was a dress that had that big white collar, and that had this little jacket that went over it.
Oh, cute.
Super cute. And this was a reunion up. Was it up above Sheridan?
Meadowlark. Up above Buffalo, between Buffalo and Whirling.
Right, right.
Aaron's got to be in there somewhere.
Who? Aaron?
Aaron is baby. Yeah, a little baby on the right front. And then there's Asia and Rhiannon.
Oh no, Aaron's right on Grandma Parker's lap. Right between Grandma.
Oh, there's Aaron.
Right there. Yeah.
Newcomer's lap. Yeah.
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 Looks like there's a little too much sun to suit Paul down there in the bottom right corner.
I know. He's squinting his eyes.
Oh yeah, there's Paul right there.
Yeah. There's graduation. So, you know, Paul's never very formal, but my graduation, you know, there's 1 billion people at the University of Wyoming graduating, and he wasn't there for the ceremony, but afterwards he comes riding up on his bike like he knew exactly where I was. And he goes, "Hi, Kim, congratulations," and found me in amongst all these people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He looks real good there amongst all those people in suits.
Exactly. I know. It's all casual. Look at those muscly legs. He used to ride his bike all over the place.
Exactly, yeah. He's having the most fun.
I know he'd ride all the way up into the mountains near you and then ride back. Yeah.
Did we come for your graduation, Kim? I can't remember.
For my college graduation, I'm pretty sure you were there. Okay, this next picture is so awesome of Paul. He was like, "Yes, I graduated." You guys see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, he was excited about being done.
So he graduated from high school in 81 and college in 89. So it took him 8 years to get through, right?
Yeah. Was it 89? Is that the date on that?
That's the date. Yeah, that said 89.
Yeah, because I remember he started and then he left for a while. Didn't he go up to Gillette for a while and work? Yeah. And I remember trying to tutor him in math, and it just didn't go in for him. He had such bad dyslexia, and he'd look at things and then he would say, no, it's this. And I'm like, no, look at what's written. And he would get it all wrong. It was, I was not very good tutor.
Yeah, it was Kim. Yeah, Kim.
This was,
Mm-hmm.
what was this?
There's that. I think that was mom and dad. Oh wait, he's got lays on.
I know. What was this, just before they went to Hawaii? Or was this after they got back?
I don't know, but it's at the church cultural hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't
I
that
don't know.
part of their 50th? No, it wasn't. Maybe it was mom's
1988.
funeral.
1988?
Mom's funeral.
Oh,
No,
that, okay. That was when we had that big reunion up at Medlar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part of it?
Huh.
And they,
Yeah. So this was 19, he graduated in 19, when did he graduate from college?
Well, that thing said 89. May of 89.
Right. And so,
Who is that?
so this is Paul and me.
Oh, that's you.
And this is, he had just been working for, you know, whatever, 4 months, and he had a stroke. Do you remember that in 1989?
Oh my gosh, you're right. That was in no, that was in March. That was in 1990.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, that it was in, yeah. But anyway, Guy and I drove out like lunatics. We got in the car and drove out overnight from San Diego to Shiprock. And he was in a nursing home place, and he was starting to regain his mobility. But it was terrible. That was like the beginning of all this neurological stuff for him. It was really a bummer. You know?
Wait, what did you just say, Kim? I'm sorry, I was distracted. The last thing you said?
I said this was the beginning of all of his neurological problems. This is when he had his first stroke, and it's just, you know, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done a lot different. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a bummer because he had only been working for a very short time when he had the stroke.
Wasn't he riding his bicycle out in the desert?
He was doing a lot of bike riding, and he had one incident where he was on a bike and he just fell over on his bike, and he was all by himself, and he laid there for a long time, and then he recovered, and he rode home. And then I can't remember, it seems to me that he was out with friends, and he was in a hot
tub with Mary.
Yeah, and he had the big, it was either a seizure or a stroke. And that one put him in the hospital. And yeah.
I know that was when Don was in physical therapy school.
Right.
And Don would call him, and they would talk a lot about what he was doing, and they would discuss what he should be doing for physical therapy. And then Don would go back to physical therapy school and talk about what Paul was doing, and they used him for a subject.
Oh, that's so neat. Wow.
In the chat, I don't know if you guys are following in the chat, but Suni said that he also works at Bradley Mountain Wear, which is a big, kind of a cool company that exists in some levels in Laramie still. As a child, is it a child wear place now, Suni? I can't remember. But also Suni's late husband worked with Paul at the Jacques restaurant in Laramie, and that's where Paul learned to be a really good cook. Oh, here's a sweet picture of Paul and his ex-wife Mary. That's a great picture.
I know, isn't that a sweet
it is.
Yeah, that's sweet. Have you ever seen that picture, Ted?
No, not until I looked at it last night.
Yeah, Mary was super, you know, she just was always happy, and she's always a big smiler, and she was all fit back then. That's great. That's how I remember meeting Mary.
Yeah, me too.
And Paul's wearing an MC Escher shirt too, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is some cool stuff that old guy did.
Yeah.
And then Suni also said in the chat that Paul's dog Bella always knew when he was getting ready to have a seizure.
Really?
We've adopted Bella, and she is such a wonderful dog. We love her. She's great.
He's a sweetheart.
This is Paul and Mary's wedding.
Oh, let's go back to that one, would you?
Yeah, let me go back. This group picture?
Yes, where is that? Because Chandra is there and nobody else from our family is there, and I don't understand
That's in
why.
Cody.
It's in Cody. Yeah. Was Chandra living with mom and dad for a little while?
Oh, she was. She was going to school in Powell.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Grandma wore her blue dress.
This is so funny. This is their wedding, but they're not in the front and center. That's kind of funny.
Isn't it funny? Yeah.
Whose wedding?
It's
Paul and Mary.
Paul and Mary.
Oh, they
They're off
got
to the
married
side.
to Cody?
Yeah.
They're way in the back.
Oh, I didn't. Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay.
I thought that was funny too, Sharon.
All the important people are.
There isn't a single formal picture of them.
I know. It's always group photos.
Kim, I said all the important people were in the front in that other.
I know. Oh, look at Kyle. He's such a little piece. So who is the guy, who is the best man for
Fox?
That's right.
Fran, yeah, that's Francis Fox for sure.
Yeah, he came down last November, and he and Paul spent a couple days together, and it was Thanksgiving, so they spent Thanksgiving together.
That was a great story. That was a great time. I know that.
Yeah.
So much to Paul.
Paul's friends really came through for him the last couple months.
Yeah, it was so sweet for you guys to visit him. This is in my house when we first bought it. So this is right. This is not long after he had his, this is the December after he had that first stroke. They came to have Christmas with us.
Yeah, Laura's sitting on the only chair in the house.
Is there a chair? No, she's not sitting on a chair. She's kneeling.
Oh, well, sorry. We didn't have any chairs.
We didn't have any furniture. It took us about, I can't remember how many years it was. It took us a long time to save up enough money to buy furniture.
I know the feeling, Kim.
Yeah. There's Teddy. Oh, you're just adorable.
He looks kind of like Fred's baby pictures.
Does he?
Yes.
Huh.
I don't know why Fred is not on.
I don't know. I don't see him trying to get on. Did you send him the link?
I did.
Because he told me he was going to be on. That's what's so weird.
Yeah, he said he needed an invite and to send him the link. So I sent him the link or the numbers.
Do you want me to try to send him
an invite?
Yeah, let me go to hang on. Okay. I'll try it. Let me just try to type it in for him. Oops.
I think well, I guess if he wants to get on, it feels like we're winding it down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anybody needs to drop off or anything, feel free. Don't,
That Kim, how long was that before your mom got sick in your house?
Oh, there's Trevor. So mom,
because you said that was in 90.
That was 1990, and mom didn't. It was 2010, so that was 20 years before mom was
so
starting.
She died in 2010. She
was sorry, 2005. 2005.
She was sick before Colin was born, but we didn't know what was going on. So it was like 2005 when she started. 2004 maybe.
Yeah. And
because I know that one year she called me before Christmas, and I told her I thought she'd had a stroke.
Yeah.
Just from talking to her, and then when I talked to you, they had come out to your place for Christmas, and you said when she got off the plane, you knew you and I both kind of had thought to begin with that she'd had a stroke.
Right. So she in 2004, December of 2004. That's when they came out and we all knew something was wrong. they had diagnosed her with Alzheimer's, and they were giving her Alzheimer's medication, and it was making her really bizarre. So then she came out to San Diego and went through a neurological, she stayed with us and went through a bunch of testing. And that's when they determined that it was a Parkinson condition instead of an Alzheimer's. So they took her off of all that Alzheimer medication. And then she was just, you know, there wasn't anything they could do for her. And it was just, you know, a bummer.
Yeah.
She started using a cane.
That picture was about 4 years before.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that one year she called me before Christmas. We had a weird conversation.
Yeah, she was on that medication, and I remember she called me on the phone. It's like, something is really, really wrong.
Yeah, when I got off the phone, I told Hap, I said, I don't know what's going on, but.
Right. Oh, look at all those newcomers.
Wow.
Parker has that funny grin always on his face when he's taking pictures. It's hilarious. This is back in California. There he is, Parker again. This is Legoland. Do you remember going to Legoland, Teddy?
I do.
Yeah,
I remember that a lot. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. These are such cool buildings made out of Legos. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, those are Lego buildings? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're buildings made out of Legos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll have her to tell
Aaron.
That's incredible.
I'll have to tell Ryan about those buildings being made out of Lego. He was my Lego master.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the boys at our house. Paul had such unique color eyes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, is that Fred?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, Fred. I can't see you, but I can hear you. Good to have you on.
Well, I'm on my phone, so I can't. I'll try it on my computer here, so I can get everybody on here.
Yeah. Either way, it's good if we can hear you. Can you see what's on the screen?
Yeah, that picture. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going through kind of a slideshow.
Okay.
Helen. And this is when we went out and visited these guys in Cortez.
Well,
yes, we went down there one summer, and boy, he gave us quite a tour of
the
ruins and the pottery that he found. That was amazing what he had found.
Yeah,
there's so much. Really. There's so much interesting stuff to discover down there around Cortez.
Yes.
Paul just had a blast with it, and so did we every time we visited. Boy.
Yeah.
He would take us around to all types of places.
Yeah.
We got to experience some very wild things when it came to archaeology.
You like ruins, right? Old Indian ruins where they would store grains and stuff.
Right. Yeah, there was actually some digging at one point, which was probably not the right thing, but it was, it was a good thing. It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
Looks like he's
Helen.
Wow, what eyes she has.
I know. There's the family. What's the dog's name there? Is that Basil or?
That's Lady. She's a mean.
She was mean?
Kind of, I think. I kind of remember that.
More fishing. I don't know if that's a Cody dress.
There's that.
Putting on wig.
That's an awesome one.
That's Helen, my dog. Those must be Mimi's wigs. That's it. We were looking through all of Mimi's wigs. What's the year on this? Yeah, I don't know that one. Helen's probably 5. So this is 1990, and he had his grand mal seizure. And no, wait. It was 999. Yep. No, so it was, what year was it, Sharon?
2012?
No, because it was 999. What would that make it? 2009?
Yeah, it was 2009.
2009.
October
Yeah.
9th.
Yeah. 999, where he had a grand mal seizure, and they flew him to Grand Junction and brought him back to life. They said he died. He actually,
Coded?
yeah, they had to bring him back to life. And yeah, it was scary. Crazy. And they were testing his brain and trying to figure out what was going on. Yeah. Lauren was always great. She'd go and get him clothes. Okay, we got new clothes for you.
That's so funny. She is like the clothes person.
She is. She's got you going.
There's
we
the
all were.
fabulous four.
Yeah.
Paul
The
told me,
newcomer hets.
That's a good picture. That's a really good picture.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Where is Lorianne?
She is traveling. They are in someplace near the Great Lakes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tim, do you remember when he came out of that? That when they had him induced in a coma because he needed to recover, and then they took him out, and he woke up and he was intubated, so they had to take that thing out, and then they were trying to figure out if he was okay, and they were like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Jasmine."
he was just being a smart aleck.
It was so funny. So
funny. I remember that so well because they took him out. We were there. We were all there, and they said, "We're going to bring him out." And he started grabbing for his tube because he was so confused. He didn't know what was happening. And Lorianne climbed up on the bed and put her face like an inch away from his face and said, and just talked him off the cliff. She's like, "Paul, we're all here. You're okay. You got a tube down your throat." She was awesome because I was just in shock. I didn't even know what to do, and she was awesome. She just got up there and helped him, make it through that because he was super confused. Yeah, that was horrifying. Yeah. We just went out and took a walk outside. We were at the hospital and he just wanted to get outside and see the outdoors. And then Sharon came and picked us up so we could drive back to Cortez. This is at the pass. And Sharon brought a bottle of champagne because we were like, woo, woo. Second, you get a celebration. This is your second chance at life, dude. You died once. Now you get your freebie here.
Was he happy they brought him back?
Yes. Yeah, he was. He was.
I mean, even at the end of his life, he had no interest in dying, and 2 days before he died, he goes, "I feel like I'm gonna get better."
I know. I remember that. Yeah.
Terrible.
It was. I remember he's like, "No, I'm okay."
Well, he just got better on the other side of the veil. That's what happened.
There we go. Yeah. We'll catch up with him soon.
Yeah. And this is in Winter Park. Do you remember that, Teddy? He had a seizure here, and it was so scary. He was sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden he started having a seizure, and it was like, holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how many health issues he had. I can't believe it.
Yeah. It was from all that time when we were on the military bases, and we would run behind the machine that would spray for mosquitoes, the fog machine. They would spray ion, and we'd ride our bicycles behind the fog. Like, woohoo!
Oh, I'll be damned.
That explains.
I know.
Are you serious? Is that true? Or are you just kidding?
No, I am absolutely serious. I remember they would come through and they'd spray for mosquitoes, and we would get on our bikes, and as soon as the machine would go by, we would ride really close behind it, so we'd be in the fog. Like,
Oh, gee.
I know. And they never said, "Hey, kids, don't come near us." It was horrifying.
Yeah, how come he got it and you guys didn't?
Well, you know what? I'm only 1 year older than him, so
Well,
every day
I
is,
think it was from the heat stroke that kind of initiated brain damage.
yeah, from the time he was in the jacuzzi, you mean?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Stroke, that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, they do, you know, they do blood tests and chemical tests and stuff. And when that was a stroke. I mean, they know that because of the enzymes that a stroke produces.
Right.
So that was a stroke. And I agree with you, Teddy. I think that overheating in the water, I mean, because he said he was in there for a long time. Well, you might have heard from Yuri that they stayed in there, or he did.
Yeah.
It's just, some people are better. You know, we've got this clotting disorder too, and it's hard for us to digest toxins, and that's that whole B12 thing. And so that's, you know, maybe he had it worse than us, because I don't remember what his blood results were on that. Do you, Kim?
I don't remember if he was homozygous or if he had both genes from mom and dad or just one.
Yeah.
So that clotting comes from Grandpa Newcomer.
Does it?
Because I have the same thing. Yeah, I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you have factor V Leiden, Annabeth? Is it called factor V Leiden?
Pardon me?
I'm going to put it.
I've never heard called that.
Is it called? Okay, there's one called MTHFR, and there's another one called factor V Leiden. Luckily, we have both of them.
No one's ever gotten that far into it. I just know that when I get to 10, then I can have blood transfusions, but not until then.
When you get to what?
When I get down to a 10.
Oh, wow.
On platelets, then I can have blood transfusions, but I'm not there. I stay at 11 constantly.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, when I was going through my, trying to get pregnant and went through all that testing, that's where we found it.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of the things that did Paul in with respect to those seizures that he was having is that he just loved grapefruit, and he ate grapefruit all the time.
Really?
And yes, and the medications that the doctors were prescribing to address these seizures were just not working.
No, they were not.
And this had gone on for over 2 years. He'd gone to doctors in Denver, the guys out there in Durango and everything. And Rebecca, my wife, was in the hospital in Poudre Valley there at Fort Collins. And I was wandering around the hospital, you know, twiddling my thumbs and worrying like people do when they're waiting on somebody. And I found myself on the epilepsy floor. And I encountered some pamphlets on the subject, and I picked one up and was leafing through it. And I thought, well, this is something that Paul ought to read. So I sent it to him. And in it, he discovered that if you eat grapefruit, that just disables your epilepsy drugs. I mean, it just makes them useless.
Oh my God.
I can't believe the doctor didn't tell him that.
Well, I can't believe we didn't learn that in elementary school. I mean, that's important information. At any rate, he found that, and immediately those seizures come to a stop, or not quite a stop, but instead of having 4 or 5 or 8 of them in a single day, he got to where he's having one a week or one every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was, oh, geez. And he suffered unnecessarily for 2 or 3 years before making that discovery, that accidental discovery.
Yeah. And I think during that time, they upped the dose so much to excessive levels that it could have been handled at a lower dose, which I think contributed greatly to the cancer.
I do too. That was one of the side effects of that medication was colon cancer. And he was on an outrageous dose of that medication. It's just maddening.
Yeah, it is. Oh, man. And then all of us, you know, we saw Paul, what the heck? He was overweight for a while.
Yeah.
And then he got skinny. And
Yeah.
then he was able to eat 2 or 3 Thanksgiving meals at a time and stay skinny.
Yeah.
And none of us
Yeah.
saw, wait a sec, there's something wrong with this picture. Not that I want all of us to give ourselves a collective kick in the butt for it, but hey.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oops.
This is the third time he was in the hospital over like I don't know, Sharon, was it like over a 4 or 6 week period where he
Well, Teddy knows. Teddy that was about a month after you were in Cortez, right? You were there like mid-September?
Right. First couple weeks in September.
Okay. So
yeah.
And we didn't even know then, but
no.
Man, it was
something
bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
What's going on?
Yeah. So they kept sending him home. And then finally the third time he
just insisted. He said there is something wrong, nothing is moving through. Have to do some x-rays. He said, I'm self-diagnosed this.
Right, I know. And then when he moved to the Denver area, there's his best pal, Sharon, in his place. We went on such a great trip. This is a tarantula. I would not do that.
I'm told they don't bite. Is that true?
Yep, they don't bite.
They don't bite?
Well, that is sick.
They give you a fiberglass rash. They can flick their hairs off and it gives you a rash like you've been working in fiberglass.
Okay.
Teddy and Bella. That's a nice visit. When were you guys there?
That was December 26th.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they were here for Christmas.
Yeah.
Why isn't there any snow? Where's the snow?
Isn't there any snow?
What?
These are the nice people at where Paul was staying.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no snow. That was a really warm December.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you he butt dialed me one day?
No.
He must have been walking down the hall. And I could, it was his number that came up and I could hear, clump, 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 clump. And I kept saying, Paul, 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 Paul. And he never answered back. So I figured he must have butt dialed me.
Oh, how funny. This is one of Colin's basketball games. Bella loved it. She would just come and jump on the bed immediately when she'd come to his room. Sharon's house. I think that's it, isn't it? That's it. That's the end. That was November. Yeah, when we brought him to Denver from, Sharon flew out and picked him up in Cortez and brought him to Denver so we could get some better diagnoses and take care of him. So
he's lucky to have sisters like you. He's really lucky.
Oh, is he ever?
Yeah. Yep. All of us are lucky to have sisters.
Yes.
Or brothers, as the case may be.
Exactly.
I just hope that his cousins adopt him, Ted. My poor son, he's an only child, and it just breaks my heart because I'm like, oh my gosh, who's going to do this for him?
Yeah.
Who's going to help Colin if he needs
Helen.
So I missed, who is Rich?
Rich is a friend of Paul's from, you met him in 80, what'd you say, 80?
Yeah, you can introduce yourself.
86.
Yeah,
Paul had just graduated from college and was about to go to work teaching school. And he like me, had not made any big plans about his career. He was just taking it as it came. So he did not apply for any particular job throughout that summer, and instead waited until the deadline was approaching, and then looked to see what kind of jobs were available. Well, hell, it was the ones that nobody wants. It was teaching school on the Indian reservation down there in Shiprock. So he headed down there at the you know, he only discovered 10, 15 days before he left where the heck was he going. And he headed down there just to see what was going to happen. And that's where he met Mary, who was in a similar fix. She's another Caucasian who, like Paul, had put off all her choices until the last minute. So she too found herself in Shiprock, teaching on the reservation. But at any rate, that's how.
Yeah.
That's where Paul went after we met. And when we met, we were just having fun. Oh man. The mid 80s were just wonderful for people that enjoyed the Grateful Dead and having that kind of fun. Man, did we have some fun. And hell, I'm still having fun just reflecting on it, you know.
Yep.
Paul was a wonderful spirit. This good old dude.
Yep. Mm.
Hi, Helen.
There's Helen. She just got out of her class. She's taking a summer class, so
What's she taking?
I'm taking a class on Hindu mythology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you know when you're going to get to go to Washington, D.C.?
Next year, in the spring, perhaps.
Maybe.
Very iffy.
They go to work at the White House, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they just sent her something and they wanted her to record herself so they could show all their patrons, since she won't be going to give her speech. They're just kind of putting in a placeholder for now. So she's got to do something and submit it to them. And
yeah, that's a bummer.
it is. It is a bummer.
Hey, I was just reminded of something. Bob Dylan has put out a new album.
Yeah.
In the midst of this crap, he managed to put out another one. He's 72 or 73 years old. Yeah, he might be 90. I don't know. Anyway, it's got a line in it. I study Sanskrit and Arabic to improve my mind. I try to do things that benefit all of mankind.
Huh.
And man, it isn't. The lyrics on that record are just something. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes long.
Wow.
And it by itself, it's like about a 5-year study for somebody studying poetry.
Yeah, you know, at that age, you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight. I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Boyfriends and girlfriends. It's probably a lot of depth to it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in for a treat. It's something. It gets you thinking and thinking. Wow.
Dad, you love Bob Dylan. We'll have to let you listen to that one.
Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a good idea.
You're a light buff, Dad. We can see
Well,
the TV screen in your eyes.
if you're over 80, you're not allowed to have lights on.
Yeah.
Here, Fort Collins.
Put the light on, Dad, so people can see you, and then we see the TV coming on and off on your chest.
Oh, I don't have the TV on.
Oh, it's the computer, yeah.
Emily, I want to hear about you. What are you up to these days?
What am I up to? Well, I've changed jobs this year.
Ooh.
And yeah, purple hair for a change.
I love it.
I like that.
Let's see. We celebrated 20 years of marriage this year.
Wow.
That's hard to believe. Yeah, right?
Yes.
And let's see what else. We're taking in Jimmy's family, Jimmy and I are 20 years this year. His little brother Gene and his wife are 10 years, and Denny and Nancy are 50-year anniversaries. So we celebrate 80 years of marriage this year in his family. So we're taking a little trip to Yellowstone in about 2 weeks.
Nice.
So that's going to be pretty fun.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. And then I get a craft with Mom and Sarah before all this COVID business got serious, we were doing some stuff together, and we have some of our fun little crafty things at a store in town. We get to be a vendor there, and we get to work on Saturdays together. So that's been a fun little thing. We're the Sassy Sisters, and of course, it's hard to tell who the sassiest one is, I know, but it's been a lot of fun to be able to do that with Mom and Sarah. And so yeah, just kind of hanging out and enjoying life.
That's good. Hey, what is going on with COVID in your neck of the woods? Do you guys have very many cases?
No, we really don't have very many cases. I think we're up to maybe, 40 in town that have been reported, I want to say.
62 in the state of Wyoming, and there was a new
62
yesterday and a new one the day before. So we've had 2 new ones in Sheridan County.
Are they from people passing through, or?
I think a lot of it is coming because of people passing through. Yeah,
right.
Coming through.
Yeah, you about see more out-of-state plates than you do Wyoming plates
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, it pretty well, it ran its course here. A lot of businesses were shut down. It's had an impact for sure on our community. They canceled the YO Rodeo, which is like the hugest moneymaker for our town, tourism and all of that. So that, I don't know what the effects of that are going to be, but I would imagine we haven't seen the worst of it yet, because that brings a ton of people to town. That's a huge activity that is a week to 10 days long and brings a ton of competitors, Indian relay races. It brings the carnival, it brings a lot to town. And when you don't have that, it hurts your community. Yeah. Fair's going on right now. And so that's been, a lot of people are trying to support fair kids. And I'm now working at the Farmers Co-op. So that's been fun to see all the kids coming in. And so, we try to support a lot of what they're doing and promote fair and promote community and all of that. So that's been fun to be a part of that and kind of be back in the ag community again, because we grew up as country kids, so it's fun to be back in that neck of the woods again.
Oh yeah. I'm curious, why did they allow the fair to go on but not the rodeo? Is it because it brings in so many people from out of town?
I don't really know. The PRCA, I think, is what determined that they weren't coming. They didn't do any rodeos. I don't think they did. They canceled Cheyenne Frontier Days. They canceled the YO. They canceled Calgary Stampede. I mean, those are huge. That's 3 huge events that were canceled this year. Yeah. And it, I don't know. It's hard to say what's the right decision.
Yeah, they're doing the fair a lot different this year too.
Oh yeah, the kids they're not able, nobody is able to stay at the fairgrounds, which they typically do. Right. And like tomorrow is the pig show. And I know we have a kid that works part-time and he's showing pigs. They were doing the weigh-ins tonight. The show is tomorrow. And then I think Friday is the sheep show. Saturday is the beef show. And then Monday is the buyer's sale, Monday night. And so they're still doing all of that. They're just, doing it a little bit differently. They're streaming everything online. The kids had all their static exhibits. They still had to do their interviews with their judges and everything. And, people wore masks if they were comfortable, but they didn't have to. So there's been a lot of pictures on Facebook of the static shows and exhibits and kids and what they're doing. And so people can still, participate. It's just a lot different than it normally is.
Mm-hmm. Our fair is very virtual this year. They actually brought the kids through for weigh-in just so that the buyers would know what the real weight of the animal was. But they did it with appointments. So one family at a time would come through and they did different species at different days. And then all the judging was done virtually. So the kids videotaped themselves showing. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're having auction and it's all gonna be online. So they're just gonna, bring the kids' animal up and then virtually people are going to be bidding on the animals, and then the kids will bring their animal to the fairgrounds for slaughter. But that's it, and it's actually very awesome what we were able to do, because the other fairs just canceled, and our fair, we said, no, we're gonna make this work. So yeah, it's
Yeah, they just
So will the
finished
guys doing the
multi-
slaughtering have to wear masks?
Well,
they're
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the slaughtering people, they're just corporations. The kids, we bring a truck in, and all the animals get loaded on the truck, and if a kid wants to do their own animal, they can, but most of the kids just go through these companies, and they've got their own practices, whatever they do. Yeah.
I know here it was, it's a big deal. These kids have had fair projects since before January, or in January, before all of this business really got serious. And so, it was really important in our community, there were some people that were really pushing, we don't want to cancel fair for these kids. There's been so much that has been canceled and postponed. And, we had graduation ceremonies. They were later, but they still had them, and graduation parties. And it was just, everything has been a little bit different. And so I think it's important for the kids to know that, the community is really behind you and wants to support you, and doesn't want you to have nothing to show for all the work you've put in, and your time and your effort. And I think it's really great that they're still able to have their show and do what they're doing, even if it is virtual. Even through all the COVID stuff, there were some restaurants here that they thought pretty quick out of the box and were able to make things happen and make things work and stay open to a certain extent. And that, that says a lot about whether they have the tenacity to continue or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy times. Well, thanks everybody for being here.
Last comment, and I'm going to get on off of here.
Yeah.
Seeing everybody, and gosh, Sharon, Kim, everybody has done so much for us, and we can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Rich, Dad, really respected you, man. And
we had so much fun. We were an important part of one another's life.
Yeah.
No, Rich.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
What a good man. What a good family.
Yeah.
You guys are so fortunate. Ted, what a good father you've been.
Our dynamic was so interesting.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Teddy.
Nobody really would get the pleasure to experience it, so we definitely lucked out.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so proud of Ted and Parker. He talked about those boys at the end of his life, and he said, I am so proud of my boys.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful for him to have that he was leaving the rest of us. And I think that was, Paul has left us the most beautiful gift. And all through his life, poor Paul was always getting in trouble. It feels like one thing or another. And I'm like, it works. Parenting, there is no rule book. It all works. And there is, you can't say this is the way you do it, because look at all of us we're good people, and we have good parents and good kids. And it's like, we all did it differently. And I'm so proud of Paul, for Ted, you and Parker. You guys are so, I hope you guys all have the chance to spend time with these kids. 15 minutes with each of these kids, and you will go, wow, this is Paul's creme de la creme.
Yeah, for sure.
He's good, like Jerry Garcia. What he did is it's affecting people everywhere.
Yeah.
And will for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
you guys are beautiful.
Yeah, Rich, we're planning on making a visit here pretty soon, so we'll definitely swing through.
Cool beans. All right.
Sorry, just like we planned. Back in May.
In our flexible schedule, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
I finally get to meet Ted.
Yes.
Oh my God. Time, as many times as it almost happened.
Yeah.
And by the way, Ted Senior, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, you too. No, not Dad definitely mentioned you plenty. I know that.
Yes, Sunni and
Probably. We'll talk about those another time, huh?
Yay, can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. That Sharon?
Oh, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Ted, for sharing. Go ahead.
I know these boys of Paul's really helped me last summer when I had my great-grandson Jack with me. Yeah. What a handful he was. And these boys just took him over and played with him and talked to him and took him places and got him lost. Which one was it? Parker? Was it Ted or Parker that he went looking for at Ted's house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys were so good with him.
Yeah. Delightful.
So we'll see you in August 21. And
yeah,
Sharon and Kim, I hope we get together soon before then on our beautiful trip.
Yeah.
Great.
Sharon, happy birthday early.
You too, Sunni, to your daughter. Happy birthday to her. And happy birthday.
She's turning 18. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or Carol. Carol's birthday in 2 days. Happy birthday, Carol.
Oh, Carol. What
And
happened to you?
Sharon.
Oh, that's right. Everybody's got a birthday right around now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no kidding.
All these Leos. Wow. I'm so glad I'm a Libra where I can keep the scales, you know.
Hey, I'm gonna take a picture on Zoom. Everybody smile. You ready?
Give me a second.
Everybody look up. 1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Bye.
Thank you.
We're in the dark.
You can do that?
You
can take pictures?
I just take a picture and it'll just be a picture of this square.
Yeah.
Like that Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
That's the quickest mopping job I've ever done.
I have to Zoom every day, so I've become quite accustomed to this.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, you guys.
Hey, thank you, everyone. I have to say sorry I kept myself a lot off the video, but I was crying.
Yeah.
Hope you all again.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to see everybody.
You too, Carol. Bye, Hap. Good to see you. Bye, Sarah.
Hey, Ted.
Bye. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sassy sisters. From the Camerettes.
Go on.
You know, Annabeth, I would love to hear you, as if this is still recording.
Yes.
I would love to hear the story of my dad and mom's engagement, because you told that story not too long ago and I had never heard it before. And Fred, you probably know it too in Corlay.
I don't know a thing about it. I was too little.
Well, Ted was on. He was, I don't know where he was off to.
He was in Texas, right?
He was what? In Texas?
In Texas somewhere.
I think he was. So he wanted to marry Laura, so he sent a ring to Dad, and he said, I need to have you propose to Laura for me. And Dad had just bought a brand new car. It's probably a Rambler, something or other, because that's what he bought in those days. And this couple from Laramie was on their way to Canada, and their car broke down. And it was the oldest, worst car I have ever in my life ever seen. And so my dad said, well, go ahead and take our car. And, just go ahead. I mean, he'd never met these people. They were members of the church. And so Dad said, well, they must be good people. And so he said, go ahead and take our car. And I'm like, how could you possibly let anyone take our brand new car?
And were you in Buffalo, Annabelle?
We were in Buffalo. And so we were scheduled that weekend to go up to the ranch, you know, up at Decker.
Parker's.
Yeah, Parker's. So this car used an incredible amount of oil. So Dad went and bought a case of oil, and we went down the road, and he would stop every few miles and put in some oil. And we got up there, and Todd and Dad spent the entire day just fixing that car enough so we could get back home. And so they gave Laura her ring, and they were engaged, and we somehow got home, and they brought our car back. It was all good.
That is amazing. So was there a phone call in there so that they knew you were bringing the ring up, or did they surprise my mom? Did my mom know the ring was coming?
I'm sure they knew we were coming to visit. I don't know. I was only, I must have been in the 8th grade.
Okay.
59, Annabeth.
Whatever I was in 59.
Yeah.
13. I was 13. I just remember that car being so bad and having to stop and put oil in it. And I couldn't believe anybody could drive a car that bad.
Wow.
But anyway.
So generous of your dad.
I think he ended up being a professor at the University of Wyoming.
Huh.
I can almost remember his name, but not quite. I'll call you in the middle of the night when I remember it.
You could just text.
Oh.
That's a great story. Yeah, that would be interesting to know who that was, wouldn't it?
That would be. Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
So Kim, you didn't get an invite on Facebook?
I'm not on Facebook.
Okay, but Guy has it.
Yeah, Guy got it.
Yes, please communicate with your husband.
I will. I will.
Okay, and Sharon, you got one, right?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Okay, I want to make sure that everyone has received that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll schedule it.
Yeah, thanks for organizing.
Invite for what?
What do you mean for the reunion in August?
This coming August?
Not next week. Not next week, next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you check your Facebook, yours is on there.
And do we have a place picked out yet?
It's going to be in Sheridan, and Elva and I talked about it on Monday, and this is kind of our idea. It's going to be pretty low key. She suggested a barn that you can rent for $350, and I said, okay, but we have to be sure we have some place for people with children that they can do things. So that was one option.
Yeah.
We also have the option of going to Banner, which is, you know, that's a huge tie to the Newcomer family. The Williams family, which is Elva and Linda's grandparents, it sits on their land, on their grandparents' land.
Oh.
So
they still
the grandson does.
Awesome.
Grandson, yeah, still owns part of that. So we have an option of using that. There's nothing there but the clubhouse. And then we talked about going to the mountains, and she's going to have her nephew check what some of the campgrounds up there to see if there's a place we can go to just to have a picnic and enjoy the cooler weather, because she said in August it's really hot there. So that was another option. And then we talked about, we'll probably do this, is have a picnic in the park, the big park downtown in Sheridan, because there's a swimming pool there. We can rent the covered picnic area.
Mm-hmm.
And we also talked about going out and touring Fort Phil Kearny, and she said there are tables out there where we can have like a lunch there. So we talked about going to Fort Phil Kearny, and her nephew does an amazing job giving tours there.
Oh, cool.
And then that's where our great-grandfather fought. Mm-hmm. And then maybe taking a little tour down the road to where the original ranch house is. Mm-hmm. So those are our ideas. So we're looking for any ideas anybody has. that anybody wants to do. It's looked like the numbers are growing and growing and growing, and people have gotten on the site that it's like, I don't even know who they are, which is fine. But, you know, and I'm up for any ideas, anything anybody wants to do. I'm kind of a low key person, so if anybody wants to do anything fancier, why let me know.
No,
Sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds fun to
Get
just
together and talk, and like you said, there has to be a place for kids, or it needs to be easy for people to walk. And
yeah, you know, we talked about catering, and I said, in my own family, there's too many things that people don't want to eat, or they do want to eat, or they won't eat, or whatever, and it's just too hard to cater the same thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's never a bad thing just to say, bring a picnic for your family, and then each family figures it out, and then you just show up, and
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Sheridan Inn is not open. That's where our grandparents.
It's not.
Our grandparents were married.
Yeah.
The rooms are for rent, and you can rent rooms there for about $200 to $500 a night.
Wow.
So if you have a desire to stay there, that's fine. And I said, would they object if we came and brought our picnic lunch and sat on the front porch and ate lunch? And she said she thought that they would allow, actually she knew that they allow people to have a catered something there. So those are just some ideas that we talked about.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what to do. Because she wanted to know if we wanted a venue. Did we want to rent the barn? If we do want to, well, we can put our name in there. We will reserve the covered picnic area in the park. I think that's probably one of the best. And I think trying to go up to the mountains to the campground is probably a good idea too.
Yeah.
Go up there where it's cool.
I like that idea too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the park is nice because there's things for the kids to do.
Right.
Yeah, I remember having reunions there, and it was just always fun because the kids can play and you can go swimming, and the adults can sit and visit and visit and visit while the kids go play.
Right.
Yeah.
And the mountains, there's hiking, you know.
Yeah.
So it's places to stay. I mean, everybody can just kind of figure out. We had talked about Story, but the place we looked at, there's only like 6 places there in Story. I know that Bethel's family is going to stay in Story. They're going to be there next week. And they always stay in Story. So, anyway, so that's all I know so far.
Good.
Sounds good. Yeah, but we'll flesh it out as it gets closer.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you for organizing this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah.
It still is. It's still going on.
Now, Ted, you're being awful quiet in there. What's going on? Brother Ted?
Oh, someone asked me to speak.
Yeah, that's just a free-for-all, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's up in your life?
Not too much.
It ought to be easy.
It's we still can't go to any rec centers.
Give it,
So,
give a jingle back.
Yeah, you can't hear either.
Oops. Sorry.
can you hear me now?
I can. We can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, this has been nice seeing everybody and listening to everybody talk, because I get more out of that. I already know what everybody's like and how good everybody is. So this is just one of the nice things is to be in. It's like sitting in an ice cream factory and eating ice cream for the whole time. So that's how good it is to sit around and listen to you guys. So,
Yeah.
so, well,
What's the weather like there?
I think it only got up to 82 today.
Oh, Corlane, what did it get to at your house?
It just got to 100 today.
Okay.
They said it was going to be hotter today than yesterday, and yesterday it was 107, but it only got to 100 today, so that was good.
You didn't ask me, Annabeth.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Fred. What was it today at your
It
house?
was 111 today,
Oh, my gosh.
and the low last night was 86.
Oh,
Wow.
There's that.
Ours was about 80.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Good time to pawn your blankets for a few months.
Yeah.
For a few weeks.
Well, I got a call last week. A company up in Pocatello, Idaho had called me and they wanted me to come up and help them set up an ISO 9000 quality program.
wow.
And I was supposed to start this coming Monday. I called him today and said, hey, what's going on? He said, we haven't discussed it yet.
Oh,
We'll give you a call on Monday. Don't show up here Monday, just we'll give you a call on Monday. But I was looking forward to getting into the cool air.
oh, bad.
Higher altitude. It's cooling off up here. It's fall is coming on quick.
Oh, good.
We put a couple more days. I'll have to put on pants with long legs and shirts with long sleeves.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
I don't do that till January.
Okay. Well, it's coming on early. And last year it was early too. And we have a pal that's a geologist. And last year I asked him, hey, you know, this spring's been a whole lot cooler than usual. Do you suppose that global warming has ended and now we're heading toward global cooling? And he kind of lit up. He said, you know, we're overdue for that. But he figures that human activity is going to postpone a little bit. But this year too, the whole spring, the whole summer, it's all been much cooler than usual.
Yeah.
And
So
you know,
it's really interesting in Yellowstone. I was there a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and there's a huge amount of people there, but there's not as many as there usually are. But the animals have really come down out of the mountains because there haven't been a lot of people there. Yeah, the bear sightings have been, I mean, I told my granddaughter I'd give her $10 for each bear she saw, and it cost me.
by the ATM, I'll catch him.
But I mean, we ran into a moose. We were hiking around Jenny Lake, and we ran face to face into a moose.
Wow.
And yeah, so the animals are really, really out. There's so many people there right now, though, that they may start going back up.
Yeah.
They've only had 2 buffalo in, you know, pettings, and so that's.
Yeah. Things have been strange here. You know, usually we get migrations. We see the birds heading north in the spring, and then we see them coming south. And this year, you know, we've been here because we're told to stay at home like everybody else. And the migrations, we haven't seen it at all. And then what we usually see is a bunch of bluebirds down here eating bugs. And there was one pair of bluebirds, that's it. And they're eating suet this year. And the black-headed grosbeak and the western tanager, birds that used to migrate through up north and then come back later in the fall, they stayed put. And they're living on this suet. And I read in the Montana Wildlife magazine, which is like Game and Fish publication from Montana, that there is the article was titled Insect Apocalypse, and the chemicals that are being used currently in agribusiness to control insects include nicotinoids.
Yeah.
It's a product of tobacco, and those things are apparently what's responsible for doing in the bees, which we've known about for 10 or 15 years and have done nothing about. And now they're just doing in the rest of the insects. And so, you know, depending on what you read and what what may or may not be true, we may be without insects in 100 years, which would be a disaster. But
I just watched a documentary about that. Yeah.
Wow.
On that same subject?
It was about farming in Oklahoma, and he said that they use 47 different chemicals on their fields, and for the bugs, and he said as soon as they become immune to a bug, to the chemical, then they come up with another one. And the bees, it's a real problem with the bees, real problem.
Real
Yeah, and those are our pollinators, and without pollinators,
Right.
we're going to be up a creek. We're going to be hungry. Well, I'll be losing weight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
But it's still a real nice time living here. It's just all these changes. Wow.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, I'm in Southern Illinois, and we saw one lightning bug.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, there. My brother-in-law lives here full time, and he is a very right-wing conservative person, and he said, but when it comes to the environment, I'm a realist. And he goes, we have got to stop these chemicals. He goes, there are no insects left. He goes, look,
Right.
we were here for a wedding, his daughter's wedding, and he goes, look, there are no lightning bugs. So we looked and looked and looked, and I saw one, and Colin didn't see it, and that was it.
Yeah, that's something I wish my grandkids could see, are lightning bugs, because we had them at our place in Buffalo. There was one spot across the road. If you went down in they were just some little trees, and they were always lightning bugs there.
Wow.
And that's the only place they ever were.
Wow.
My grandchildren never seen them.
When I was little, I slept out on the porch one time, and my dad came in with a lightning bug in his pocket, so I could see the lightning bug. And then he took it out and let it loose, of course.
Wow.
So what did your friend say? She said something about
Rich,
butterflies. She said
for some reason, the butterflies and certain birds are coming around my yard here in town in Laramie. I miss lightning bugs.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Maybe,
Do you know,
Suni, I bet you do chemicals, right?
does anyone know, are the lightning bugs, like, is this is late July, we're almost into August. Would the lightning bugs be around now if they were on a regular, annual basis? Because not like 2 or 3 miles from here, I have seen them, and I haven't gone over there for a couple of years, but I'm inclined to go check.
I've never seen them in Wyoming.
Oh,
really?
Okay, now I must check.
Yeah, you better check, because if you see them, I want to know.
Buffalo.
Okay, Friday night, I'll go over there and check. When it was about July 5th or 6th, 10 or 15 years ago, we were over there taking a hike, and it was twilight. We were coming back toward the highway, and I saw these little glimmers of light, and I at first thought, well, maybe that's moonlight reflecting off of a piece of garbage over there, something, a piece of tinfoil or something. And I finally thought, well, no, I need to go over there and have a look. And went over there, and by golly, lightning bugs. And like you guys, I'd never heard of lightning bugs in Wyoming, ever. And I don't know that the entomologists at the university even know about them. I haven't checked. But
wow.
Got to go have a look now, because if those guys are injecting food.
This is definitely a changing world if lightning bugs are in Wyoming.
Yeah.
When the snow flies in Phoenix, that'll be a different change too.
Right?
Yeah.
Happen.
Well, you guys, I'm getting tired, so I'm going to go to bed. It's 9:20 here.
No way. Come on.
Wow.
The night's just beginning. What are you talking about?
Never in my wildest imagination did I think I would ever enjoy one of these Zoom calls.
I knew you would.
For even 10 minutes, instead of a couple hours, 3 hours. So thank every one of you. Oh boy, this is great. Paul was such a wonderful human being. Jeez, every time we could try to break that guy or his spirit, let's do that.
Yeah.
Do the world a favor.
I have to tell one really sweet thing about Paul, because
it must have been like 10 years ago, and we were talking. I've been together with my husband for 20 years, and he's just not the kind of person that ever says, "Oh, you look great, you're really pretty." He just doesn't. And I told that to Paul one time, and he was so upset for me, or not upset. He was like, "Oh, that's too bad." And then every single time from then on, every time he says, "Hi, beautiful. Hi, pretty." I can't tell you how many cards I have. I mean, he is the person that he never misses a birthday. He sent cards just randomly and sent them to my son and me and just said hello. I don't know that he ever sent them to Tom, but he always said to Tom and Sharon and Colin, but always said, "Hey, pretty." And
Sharon, you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
And you knew he was thinking about you all the time.
Yeah. When I went to his house in October, when he had his surgery, his house was like a shrine to our family. I mean, there were pictures of our family everywhere in his house. I mean, it was stunning because I'm terrible with updating pictures. And I looked around and I was like, wow, he just had pictures of our family, like Kim and Lauren and Paul and Mom and Dad and I. And of course, his family, his kids and friends, but there were so many of our family. So it was really, and we were a big part of his life. You know, he was thinking of us all the time.
Yep. Yep. Big heart. All of you guys got big hearts.
You too, Rich. You too, Rich and Toonie. You too. So for those of you guys, of course, don't know how the end went, but Rich and Suni and Dave were amazing. 3 friends of Paul's, and it was really hard for Paul at the end because his freaking doctor, who I would slug if I could see her, was really unrealistic about what to expect. And one of the doctors in the hospital said, you know, the night of the operation in October, he said, "This is really, really bad." He told Kim, "He has less than 6 months. This is really bad." And then I swooped in and I got there before they called the diagnosis. And the next day I was with Paul when the doctor came into the room, and she was telling him, you know, how things went, but she wasn't telling him. She was speaking in riddles. And I said, "Can you give us a diagnosis for time?" And she goes, "Well, you know, I don't really like to do that." And I go, "No." I said, "What are you talking about time-wise?" And she goes, so the other doctor that Kim talked to the night before was standing up behind us, sort of there, but not really in the conversation. And this doctor said, "Well, Paul, are you going to be here 10 years from now? Probably not. Are you going to be here 2 years from now? Maybe." And that other doctor just walked out of the room, and you could tell he was absolutely disgusted, and that he probably sees this every day with this stupid surgeon, because surgeons are just knuckleheads. And from then on, Paul, that day, he called somebody and said, "Yeah, well, I think I might only have 10 years left to live." I mean, it was a horrible, horrible place to put me. And for the rest of Paul's life, he was like, "I think I'm going to get better. I think I'm going to get better." And after a couple times of saying, "You're not, Paul, you're not going to get better," I just didn't say it anymore, because what a horrible thing to have to be the person that reminds your brother, this is not, it's not good. And, you know, he chose not to have treatment because it would have been horrible. It would have been hellacious, and
prolonged the suffering.
Yeah, and thank goodness, my track coach's wife, he died of colon cancer, and his wife is close with me, and so I was able to talk to her right early, and she said, "Well, here's what happened to us." She said, "We went through every treatment that we could find, and my husband spent the last 4 months of his life in a hospital, and I was just holding his hand, and it was horrible." And she said, "I think you're doing the right decision. If we had to redo it, we would have just not done treatment." But other than her, there wasn't really any real information. Kim and I looked and looked and looked, and
I would have never got through those months without Kim and Rich and Suni and Dave. I mean, those people, Dave is some sort of a word whisperer, and Paul would be really upset about stuff, and Dave could talk him off the ledge and get him to, really feel. And oh my gosh, the last day, Paul, we were moving him to a hospice facility that was inpatient, and Paul kept saying, they tell me I'm going to die today. They tell me I'm going to die today. And I was like, nobody's saying that. But then Parker later goes, well, I wonder who they meant. And maybe they was your mom, and maybe it was your grandparents, and maybe it was, people that he's lost, and maybe they're talking to him from heaven saying, this is your day. But Dave, so Paul called Rich and Suni and Dave, I was listening to these conversations, and Dave said, Paul, there's only love. You just remember there's only love. And it was so beautiful to know that that's what Paul was hearing from his friends, just love. And he said goodbye to everybody, and that
was crazy.
It was crazy those few months. We were trying to figure out his housing and what we were going to do, and the hospitals, they were a freaking shit show. We'd call and they'd give us records that were incomplete, and then people would say, he's not terminal. Like, what? Am I crazy?
Shit, we're all terminal.
We're all terminal. But I had my one and only, so far, anxiety attack in October. I was at a work thing, and I couldn't, I checked my phone at the end of the day, and doesn't even matter what the news was, but it was bad news, and about what we were going to do with Paul. And I think it's kind of fascinating. I don't know if any of you have had anxiety attacks, but I had an instant adrenaline rush, and then I became completely dehydrated, like instantly. And I started shaking, and my boss was with me. I'd been at this job like 4 months or something. She is wonderful. And I became really hungry, and I thought I was just having a blood sugar crash or something. So I was trying to eat and drink and get everybody out of this room, because it was a training seminar, so that I wouldn't break down in front of everybody. And I was like trying to get everybody out of the room. And as soon as they got out of the room, I just lost it. I just completely sobbed and put my head on the table and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And I was shaky. And oh, here's Dave. Is this Dave up?
I know. I'm wondering.
Anyway, that was the beginning of the hardest few months of my life. And Kim, I could never have done it without you. I would just pick up the phone, because I'm trying to manage a job, and I'd pick up the phone and I'd be like, Kim, the doctor is horrible at the nursing home. This is what she did. She'd get into Paul's face, and she'd be like, well, we are going to do this today. Is that okay? And Paul was like, yeah, that's fine. Got it.
My name is Jasmine.
Yeah, so I just pick up the phone. I talked to Kim about it. And, we were kind of like, well, should we talk to him first? And Kim's like, no, we don't have to be nice to these people. It's over for them. It's like Paul has so little life left. And so she'd just call him, and we were like, she's fired. We need another doctor. Hey, Dave, is that you on the phone? Dave up? We see somebody joined us.
Me? Can you hear me?
I can.
I
We
hear
can't
you.
see you. But,
Oh my God! That's Dave Thornton, I think.
Dave Thornton. Hi, Dave. We can
Hey, Sunnis.
I got it working. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, can't see you.
You can't see me?
Nope.
You might be able to find a little place where there looks like a little video camera with a red slash through it. If you touch that, just
I don't know how to do that.
Just
Yeah,
drag
wait,
your cursor around the perimeter of your screen.
If you touch that, your luck might improve.
Yeah. And
So,
then,
Rich, this is my nephew.
Now it's working?
Yep.
There you are.
Hey, Dave.
It works, yeah. Okay.
Where is it?
Up in the corner.
Around the perimeter, if you touch it, you'll, yeah, Suni, you're
We got
good.
it. I see him.
I see him.
I don't see him.
Oh, this is not Dave Epp. This is Dave Thornton.
This is our cousin.
Yeah.
This is Corlay's son.
Yeah, that's a good relative.
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
No, it was insanity, Sharon. I just remember, I'm so grateful. I still need to write a letter to that doctor, Dr. Pyle. That
I
was
do too.
because he was the best thing ever for me. He just said, move fast. This is not going to last. He will not last 6 months. You have to move very, very fast and get him into a stable position. And he was so right on. It was just, I mean, the other doctors think they're doing you a service by sugarcoating it, and they're not. And like the cancer doctor that we went to see, he didn't even talk to us about options. He just said, all right, let's get you into treatment. Tomorrow we'll have you set up. We'll have you on chemo. We'll do it. And I looked at him and I said, wait a minute. You haven't even told us how long you think he has to live or what he has or how bad it is. He's like, no, let's just get you into treatment and we'll get you started. And everybody that I talked to who had lost people to colon cancer said, you just will die connected to a chemo machine and you will have no quality of life for the last month. So I still need to write a thank you note to that doctor and
Dr. Pyle. And Paul's surgeon, I just got a letter. I continually I sent that to Kim.
Yeah.
And the letter, she's like, oh, hi. It's bittersweet that I'm leaving this hospital system. I have this big, promotion scholarship to Duke University because I'm so passionate about integrated medicine. And I just was like, really? Really?
Yeah.
Of course, promoted to your level of incompetence. So there she is. Oh,
I know. Sharon was a champion all the way to the bitter end with Paul. She spent so much time with him and was so good with him. It was amazing.
She was there for she's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
When he came to Florida, she and I were both fretting.
You really deserve a tip of the hat, Sharon, because holy smoke, you smoothed out that rough spot.
I know.
Which was, that Paul's demise, there's a rough landing. He's coming in for a landing.
Yeah.
And you did so much to make that respectable and comfortable and goddamn, you can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's interesting. I wonder what Annabeth and Corlay feel about this, and Fred taking care of your spouses and dad. Because after about 6 months, you just have things going through your head, so many situations. And I have terrible guilt about the things I could have done and I should have done. And part of me knows that I did what I could, but then there's this other side that's always like, oh, I would like Bella. We have Bella and she's such a sweet, sweet soul. The dog, our dog, Paul's dog. And I love her so much now. And I just want to weep when I think about why didn't I take her every single day on my way to work? It's 15 extra minutes. Why didn't I just go by and leave her with Paul? And then Tom could have picked her up later. I'm like, we love her so much. And I think Paul must have been so lonely without her. Things like that. I'm like, why didn't I do that?
Because they wouldn't have, remember the reason why is because Paul had to be able to take her, walk her out to the bathroom, and he couldn't. And they told us that. They said, no, you can't bring her in here unless somebody can take her out to go to the bathroom. We should have just got a litter box. I mean, I don't know.
Suni too, I should say Suni took care of her husband who died, I don't know how many years ago it was, Suni. But
2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she that's the way it works. It's just that guilt or that you just wonder.
Yeah. I know.
I remember that full quote that I was trying to do earlier, and it is this. It is never too early to do a kindness, for you never know how soon it will be too late.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna write that down. It's never too soon to do a kindness.
Yes, for you never know how soon it will be too late.
No, how?
So I think that we can all think about the things that we could have done, and we'll never be able to pick up that time to do it. So I think it gives me a chance to kind of look around me to see what I can do for others, to put myself in a position so I can help others.
Right now.
And maybe, yeah, and maybe not feel guilty because I didn't. And so, you know, I think we all feel guilty about things we didn't do, but we have to put those aside and just think about what can we do for somebody else today. And that's in my mind right now. I'm thinking about, I mean, there are horrible things going on in Portland, and I'm thinking, what can I do for my family, my complex I manage, and my community, and the people in my church? And that's what I focus on, doing the best I can for those people around me. And I think that's all we can do right now. Do what we can for others. Yeah. And we all have, should have, could have.
Yeah.
And it's gone. So now this is what we are going to do.
And you know what Paul would say? He would say, you were awesome, Sharon, and you did everything you could. And he'd be happy with everything. He'd just say, oh, don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, he
just smiled at you.
Those last few days, he was very kind and very grateful. And, you know, he knew the end was close. And he was very grateful. And I left the night he died, and I'm so glad I didn't see what happened, because it was horrific. And he would have been so sorry for me to witness something that would have haunted me forever. But I mean,
No. He waited for you to leave.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want. He was like, I don't want anybody around me to stop me from what I need to do.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Suni.
Yeah.
I just felt that from talking to him earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, and his dog did not want to go in there. Bella did not want to go into his place that last day. Oh, she just knew. She knew.
Yeah.
Well.
I know, it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is.
But, you know, it is, but it's not. He was wrong.
Because every one of us has got to have contemplated by now how fortunate Paul was to be departed now while we're enduring this, whatever this mystery disease is. Oh, geez, who knows what the hell is going on? And Paul doesn't have to participate in this.
I know.
He's a lucky son of a gun that way.
I thought about this Rich so many times, because he died January 16th, and I was like, if he would have lived, you know, anything more than 2 months, he would have been by himself in that place. It would have been horrible. Well, he would have come home with us, but that would have been so bad.
He'd have walked out of there, because you know he wouldn't have put up with that crap. He'd just
first
said, give me a cigarette, I'm out of here.
The first week he was there, the first couple days, and he was like so unhappy and wanted to go home, but he was like this big around, and there's no way to take care of himself. He couldn't move, and he was like, I'm leaving this place. And Kim was with me, and there was like 24 inches of snow that night, and so Kim and I were like, go ahead.
borrow my snowshoes.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Oh, ay.
Oh, poor guy.
Kim, did you just say aye?
Yeah, I said aye.
That's one of my. That's one of my favorite things.
So, guys,
How you doing, buddy?
Ask Dave when is the first time he remembers Paul.
Yeah. We asked everybody that day.
The first time I remember Paul,
Yeah.
the first time I really remember Paul, it was a reunion. I don't remember where it was. It had to be 4th of July because we were blowing firecrackers. And I think it was in Buffalo. And we were finding things to blow up firecrackers. And I think Paul got in trouble for something. He blew up something he wasn't supposed to.
Some fire.
No way.
Yeah. Well, we were blowing, everybody was blowing it, but he got caught.
Had the bad luck.
That was, so I don't know how old we were. Probably one of the reunions in the old Buffalo house.
Yeah.
The thing I remember most about him was when you guys came up when we had the farm, and we just got the Yamaha working again.
Oh, yes.
And he thought he was going to get it started and run it down the highway. And he started it up and ran it down the highway. And then our neighbors called up and said, yeah, we got a guy up here that wrecked this motorcycle on the road, and he's skinned up. And he was road rash from his head down to his toes on his front side.
I remember.
That was Paul. We warned him when we took the bike out. You can't go fast, and you got to be careful because the front end will start wobbling. And sure enough, the front end started wobbling because it was going too fast, and he wrecked it. He was a rash from the top to the bottom for the rest of the time. I think he laid on his back for about 3 or 4 days until he went home.
Oh.
Yeah, that was, Fred, are you still on there?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that was when
Randy was in the hospital.
Yeah, Randy
Yep.
was in the hospital.
Who?
Randy.
Oh.
Wow. What was wrong with Randy? I can't remember.
Ryan had gotten into Debbie's depression pills.
Oh.
And he said, Randy, would you try these to see if they taste any good?
Oh.
And so that's when he coded.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So we came home from the hospital seeing Randy when he was little, only to turn around and go back and take care of Paul.
Yeah.
Or they did.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is crazy. You just took the words out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know, man. What a great story. Oh, my dog. Sorry. Let me mute. No, you two should do a little, oh, the whole family should do a little nice book about this, because it's a fascinating story.
Yeah.
It's kept me captivated.
Yeah. I remember my dad had these, he flew RF-4s, and we were in Okinawa, and for some reason we ended up with one of the parachutes for the back of an RF-4, right? For an airplane, a parachute for an airplane.
Blow it down.
And Paul and I decided we were going to parachute off these really high brick walls.
How'd that turn out?
It didn't turn out very well at all. They were really heavy. The parachute was super heavy, and we climbed up this brick wall with this parachute and then jumped off with the parachute. I mean, it was just wires that came out. It was not, nobody broke any bones, but I remember us just trying really hard to parachute. Like,
I think that's an inherited thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember your dad, where is he? Ted. Where are you?
Wave, Dad.
Here.
Hi.
You're not asleep yet, Ted?
Ted, I remember you wanting to parachute off of the chicken house with an umbrella, right?
Yes.
Yes. And that didn't turn out very well either.
No.
It works in the cartoons.
Yes, it does.
It does.
So what did your father say when you used the parachute?
Wile E. Coyote.
The umbrella?
Runner.
No, Kim, what did your dad say about using the parachute?
You know, I have very few memories of parental intervention on any of our adventures.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
It was awesome. We just went out and, walked around in sewage ditches and went into the jungles in Okinawa by ourselves and swung from branches and took parachutes and jumped off of cliffs, and then we'd just come home and have dinner. And it's like, yeah, no big deal.
The
giant
grade,
Yeah.
First grade parenting.
Yeah. Exactly. Just let us go out and, get dirty and running around with those big banana spiders. It's like, ugh. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, they figured if you came home alive, everything was okay.
Right. They had 4 of us, so they had a couple spares.
Yeah.
One of the things Paul told me about his adventures with all the traveling you guys did was, I think it was in Guam, when he walked to school, to and from school, he would pass a place where the prisoners, the people who have been convicted of crimes, were held in little bamboo cages, little small confining huts. And when you were convicted like that, and condemned as a really, really bad person, society no longer gave a damn about you. And so the prison itself did not provide food for you or any other substance. So if somebody in society still cared about you, they'd stop by and provide you some water or food or something. And if there was nobody left in society that gave a damn about you, you just sit in there and starve. And Paul mentioned that as he was walking by this to and from school each day, it occurred to him he would prefer to stay the heck out of jails. that whole damn system. But those international experiences, man, they are so priceless. So valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys live on Guam?
No, he's probably talking about Okinawa.
Okinawa, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought he said Guam, but I don't know. You guys were there. I only heard stories.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Okinawa was so beautiful until I watched a documentary about it. And it's like, oh, that is a beautiful country.
It is. It was beautiful. We had our own little private beach where Dad and Mom would take our little hibachi grill, and we would go down there in the morning and we would snorkel and lay on the beach. And then Mom would cook lunch, and then we'd go snorkeling some more, and there was giant sea anemones with clownfish, and then the big angelfish, the giant angelfish with those long things that come off of them. If you went out further, there were these great crevasses that would dip down into the ocean, and if you went down into those, you could see those big angelfish, and it was just like a normal day. We just no big deal.
Yeah.
And we'd hunt for shells.
It's some of the finest entertainment available to man.
Yeah. Well, and when Kim says private beach, it was just, we just drove out to the beach somewhere and we would just find a little place.
Yeah.
And they had a couple places that they found, it was, anybody could go there, but I just remember we just park our car on the side. It'd just be like hiking now in the mountains. If you just stopped and just found a little trail and went up, then we just walked down and oh my gosh, that was so magical. What an incredible experience. Yeah. I remember just, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago,
I was looking at a National Geographic, and it occurred to me as an adult, I'm like, did I make up how beautiful that was? Or was that just a childhood memory and like an exaggerated memory? And so I talked to Dad, I showed these pictures to Dad, and I go, this is what I remember Okinawa looking like the reefs that are gorgeous and beautiful. And he said, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Because when I, as an adult, and I go to Mexico and I snorkel, it's dead. You know, I mean, you might see a turtle or two in Akumal, but the reef there's no color. There's nothing.
That's the way it was in the Bahamas too. I couldn't believe it. It was just dead.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was everything that you would ever think it was. It was just, yeah.
Sorry, but not for much longer. I think because of the COVID, oceans are clearing up again.
I agree. Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll get another opportunity to see those pictures.
I know, wouldn't that be cool?
It takes like, how many years does it take for a coral to grow? I mean, it's a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we talked to some guys about the coral, and I said, how do you feel about the coral? And they said, well, but there's so many ships that come in there. There's no chance they can live.
Yeah. I know.
The COVID is going to have to be a lot more deadly to save our planet. I mean,
it's making its way to do that, I think.
Yeah. We got to have more of a Thanos where he snaps his finger and 50% of us are gone.
Yeah.
It's happening. Just slowly, slower than a snap.
Yeah.
A song to cheer everybody up is Harry Chapin's song, "The Dance Band on the Titanic." Give that a listen. These are the days for that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Those guys, their job was to maintain cheerfulness as the ship went down.
Yeah.
And that's our job now.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's hope that's not true. But hey, meantime, let's have some fun.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, good. How's everybody doing?
Good. I feel like I should leave. My family's in the camp, probably.
I know, asleep.
In the camp.
I think I'm gonna go get some dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. Now.
Thanks for organizing, Kim.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys all for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. This has been the longest, funnest phone call I've ever had. Thank you all.
Thanks, Rich, for putting this on.
Yeah. All right, you guys. You good. Take care. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. This has been great.
Yes.
Bye,
Love
Jen.
you guys. Bye.
Call you one of these days.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Bye, Suni.
Bye.
Bye, Suni.
Take care.